Guys, it's Houston Sports Talk back another video day, and today the Charlotte Hornets have signed Harry Giles, center power forward, who has been in the NBA since the 2018-19 season, the 2017-18 season. First playing season was the 2018-19 season. Did not play in his rookie season due to an ACL injury, but he's 6'11". In the 2017 draft, he went 20th overall to the Portland Trailblazers, and went to the Sacramento Kings after that. Also went back to Portland, spent a couple years away from the NBA, playing in the G League, and another season he was injured. In the 21-22 season, the 22-23 season. This season, he finally got back in the NBA. In the 23-24 season, played for Brooklyn and the Lakers. Played 23 total games for the two squads, averaging 4 minutes per game, shooting 46% from the floor. He averaged 2.4 points per game with 1.3 rebounds per game. Was mostly good with the Brooklyn Nets. Really didn't do anything at all with the Lakers because he barely played with both teams, but played more with the Nets than he did with the Lakers. The Lakers, he didn't even average a point because he wasn't even averaging 3 minutes per game. But with the Nets, he was getting over 5 minutes per game in 16 games, shot 50% from the floor, shot 27% from three, which doesn't sound good because it isn't. But keep in mind, this is a guy who has never been a good three-point shooter. That's 27% is better than his career percentage. So 27% isn't good for a lot of people, but it's actually good for him because never has he really been a three-point shooter. He had one good three-point shooting season, and it was the 2021 season with Portland. But with Brooklyn, he also averaged 3.5 points per game. He averaged 2 rebounds per game, 1 assist per game, and almost a half a block per game. Those aren't bad numbers when you're only getting 5 minutes a night. Like I mentioned, did not play in the 22-23 season or the 21-22 season. One of those being because of an injury, the other playing in the G League. The 2021 season, he played 38 games with Portland. He averaged 3 points per game with 4 rebounds per game and a half a block per game, 1 assist per game. 2019-20 season was probably one of his best seasons. Really the only time he's ever been a starter. 46 games and 17 starts, getting 17 starts at the center position for the Kings in the 1920 season. There's only 17 starts in his 165 career NBA games. He averaged 15 minutes per game. Shot 55% from the floor, 7 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, a half a block per game, almost 1 steal per game. And then his first season, he actually wasn't that bad either. 58 games in the 2018-19 season, 14 minutes per game, averaging 7 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, and almost 1 steal per game, and a half a block per game. For a 20th overall pick, he's been bad. You consider him a miss as a draft pick, especially since the team that drafted him, were the team that he ended up early on as a rookie, the Kings. He was not that successful. But still, I think he did have a couple solid seasons. I look at the 2018-19 season and the 2019-20 season, and he wasn't that bad for the Kings. But for someone who was drafted 20th overall, it was not good at all. Now, keep in mind, Giles going to the Hornets. Training camp is on the way. Media day is almost a week away, 8 days away. Then the next day, you have training camp starting. So that will be interesting. Not only that, but another thing to note is that, Harry Giles, played college basketball at North Carolina. He also played at Duke as well, but played in North Carolina. Now he's going back to Carolina to play with the Hornets. And one other thing I want to mention, this is kind of, doesn't matter at all, has nothing to do with Harry. But this is the last signing or last trade or anything that we have seen happen in the NBA since Woj retired. I know that doesn't really matter, but I thought when I saw this alert, the one thing I did think about was like, that's the first signing or the first trade or the first really anything big to report since Woj retired. And I'm thinking, well, for the first time in a while, Shams doesn't have to worry about Woj beating him in anything. But yeah, I mean, I know people were making a, big deal, or not a big deal, but people were, talking about how the last player to get signed before, the last Woj bomb, it was Isaac Okoro, I believe, where he's signing with the Cavaliers. Now, here's the first, thing that's worth reporting since Woj retired, and it's Harry Giles going to Charlotte to play back in the city where he played college basketball. Let me know your thoughts on the signing in the comment section, and peace out.